Hello, everyone. Welcome to Build With Shreya, where ideas and stories inspire you to build something extraordinary. And today we have with us Mr. Christopher Berg from Mint Square, which is a leading AdTech reseller in European region. So I'll let Mr. Christopher introduce himself and we'll take it from there.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me. I'm Christopher Berg. I'm Austrian, living in Germany, and I started Mint Square 9 years ago. And we are AdTech reseller here in Europe, operating in the DACH market, Germany, Austria, Switzerland, France, Spain, and UK to bring easier access to agencies and advertisers to AdTech.
So if you just had 15 seconds to explain someone about your industry who has no context of what you do, how would you go about it?
So as a reseller, we try to give any advertiser or any agency very easy access to media buying platforms, which are normally very expensive, and we help them to get the access much easier.
And which platforms are these in general?
Yeah, so we are working together with a European company. They are called Adform. It's a Danish company. Then we are working locally with a German company, which is called Active Agent. It's from Pro7. And then we are working together with the Trade Desk. And the fact is, we are the only reseller currently in Europe for the Trade Desk. So if someone seeks access to any platform of those platforms, so they come to us and can buy media programmatically through us.
So what's one myth about your industry that you wish people didn't have?
So the largest myth, I think, is still that programmatic advertising is cheap traffic, whereas the fact is you can have now access to any TV channel, connected TV it's called, or to any screen on the street. So it's very suitable also for branding campaigns. So with one platform, have access to any media which is digital on a global scale.
And what is the biggest shift you have seen in the past 3 years in your industry?
Connecting all traditional media channels to the platform. Streaming platforms such as Netflix, Amazon Prime can now be bought through a platform, through a so-called DSP.
So what is one advice that you would have for somebody who wants to enter your industry?
I think the perfect candidate is like a number-driven personality. Advertising is not only, let's say like this, the media buying is not only to build or to create nice pictures and ideas. This is also very important. But when it comes to media buying, you need to be more tech affine. You don't need to be afraid to log in somewhere, because it's not more, unfortunately, it's not anymore like people business that you call up to someone and you want to do a media plan. You really have to dig numbers and to see how to more interpret KPIs.
So as I see, this is also sort of a myth. I think people have this perception that your industry is all about being creative, and
sure.
Of course it is that.
You need creation, yes.
Yes, but it needs to tie back into the financial aspect or the the numbers that are important.
And the tech side at the end, because now it's more about logging in, understand the markets. Every market is very specific. Germany works differently to France or to Spain. You need to have the network. You need to still understand where to buy the right media, who to contact to. But the buying process is very automated. You don't need to invoice so many or get invoices from so different media channels. At the end, you really have to understand how this platform works and how all these inventories are connected with each other and where to buy them.
If you could wave a magic wand and change one thing about your industry, what would it be?
Get rid of all the barriers. And that's the thing I want to change. Give easy access to it, because now you need to understand, if you want to access inventory, for instance, here in Germany to Pro7, it's very difficult. You need one technology. If you want to go to Amazon Prime, you need Amazon Prime. So, and if you want to go to YouTube, you have to go to Google. So you really need, if I could, I would love to have access to all the inventories and get rid of all these wallet gardens.
So what's one framework or mental model that you use day to day to become more efficient and that helps you?
My first priority to be like most efficient is like get a lot of sleep, enough sleep. It took me 10 years to learn it. So if that's the number one, in order to survive the daily hustle, plus of course my precious family, and to keep this balance, sleep is the key. And then the second one, I have a huge to-do list. I don't want to have anything in my head, so I write down every to-do in this list. And so then I don't need to think about this anymore.
So, what, according to you, is the biggest mindset shift that people need to make, especially as digital transformation accelerates in today's world?
Acceptance. I also see it here partially, I used to see. So I used to see it in my team. AI was not taken so seriously in the very start, for instance, with ChatGPT or Perplexity and all the other tools. So acceptance helps that this is now a new reality and to incorporate this in the daily life.
If somebody wants to future-proof themselves in your industry, what digital skill do you think they need in today's time?
How to prompt correctly.
Okay. Which LLMs have you experimented with?
Mostly ChatGPT, so all of our team has access to the pro version. Perplexity is also a go-to tool for myself. I think the creatives they also use different ones, but these are my tools. I work on a daily life.
Can you share an example of how automation or AI has helped with something in your work?
Sure. So for advertising, we don't rely only solely on cookies. So I think most of your audience understand. So especially in Europe, we have the regulation, we have to accept all these cookies, which is super annoying.
Yep.
And this doesn't really help us as an advertiser providing company. So there are tools in order to target contextually. So and if you do this based on information on the website, there are already LLM tools or service providers, they make use of LLM. So you provide a media plan, you provide what kind of target audience you want to reach, personas, you type it in as read it like a text, and then it gives you specific targetings on a contextual level that you implement on the platform. This is super new and super helpful for media planning purposes.
So what is the toughest lesson that your industry teaches people very early on?
Advertising sometimes can be not only outcome driven, but very often commercially driven by a couple of players. And if you're a founder like I myself who bootstrapped a company, I find it very disturbing that there are motivators which are not very value driven. But it's fine. I mean, you can overcome it, and then you can be more successfully with outcomes and your own values. And that's I'm actually what I would suggest everyone who starts in the ad industry, just stick to your values and your vision, and then you're fine.
And what do you think is the biggest mistake that people do when they start building their career in this space?
I think generally just get things done. So entrepreneurs, if you're in an early stage, just sometimes are just too slow. I would just do it and continue to stand up. I think this is the characteristics of every entrepreneur. And if I see around what the biggest and largest mistake, if something doesn't happen and work how you perceive it, then just do it, get things done.
So what's one piece of content, book, podcast, or digital tools that you use in your day-to-day life, or you keep coming back to for referring to help you grow in what you do?
So my go-to tool is Notion. I think there's so many things that you can handle with Notion, and it's an easy tool to get all your, things documented of the company. So I love this, and there's hardly one day where I'm not using it. Secondly, I focus a lot on health, especially mental health and physical health. So I love to listen to Andrew Huberman, who's a very nice guy from the US, and Peter Attia is very interesting for myself. So I recommend all your audience to have a look there.
So now we've come to the end of our podcast for today. And thank you for joining us, Christopher.
Thank you. It was very nice being here in your podcast. Wish you a great day.
See you around.
See you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.